All right. Well, I just got back from the movies today with my cousin and company. Well, tonight, folks, we're going to do my review of the new Fantastic Four movie subtitled First Steps. Don't get why they call it First Steps, but they could have just called it Year 4. Year 4 would have made more sense for this movie. But here, but here we are. Fantastic Four. Wow. I have to say, I'm quite impressed, despite despite the shift and all the race swapping and all the goddamn politics and all the agitation that keeps getting on people's nerves and killing the industry. And well, it's people having to bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like being baited or something. Well, it was really good, really good, better than I expected. I don't, I still don't think it'll. Well, who knows if it'll do more than 450 or 500 million or more than double its budget, whatever it is, whatever the budget of this movie may be. Who knows if it's going to break even or not? But besides the story, the execution was pretty good, very impressive. And I guess much of what's under Fox's umbrella still has some good writers there, and some good cinematographers too. Unlike Disney, Marvel, and the stuff that Iger got himself into. God, wow! It feels like this movie should have been released in the 2000s. I mean, it felt like it belonged in the two. I felt like this movie belong well, not just what the plot of the movie, but I feel like the release of this movie itself more likely belongs in the era of the 2000s. I mean, you're never gonna. I don't even know if this will be the last good movie with a good script we'll ever get, e- but even if the Russos do come back, I don't think that. I don't think Cassie Dowie's gonna make the movie come back. Like, I don't think it's gonna bring back the billions. Because to be honest, most people are looking to check out, and people are gonna be more people are likely to be busy with the holiday weekends and stuff next year. But anyway, clearly we know just how relentless people at the top are. But here, now this was actually a good movie. Definitely the best superhero movie of the year. I mean, Superman, no thanks. The people there are nothing but hacks, and all kinds of Zaslav and these shareholders are a bunch of hacks. But at least, at least the, at least, at least Fox still has some good content coming out. And all it took was their merging with Disney to help them do better with the Fantastic Four and stuff, despite the DEI and messaging. It definitely fits the. Not only did they put it retrofitted with the '60s era of sorts, but also the cinematography and the and the execution, and as well as the stakes in this movie, really well done. Much better than what we would expect out of Superman, where everything is just a joke. And thank God I never had to go see that crap. I mean, people running the studios are the curse, not the management and WB is way too corrupt these days. But so far, Fox is doing way better under the Disney umbrella than I thought. Doesn't mean Marvel's back. That depends. The story was good and stuff, but well, it would have worked even better if they. I feel like they shouldn't. They never needed to go rushing this movie or deleting some scenes and stuff just to keep people attending the thing. I mean, you could. I feel like as if a movement for the release of this film's director's cut should be greenlit by now. But I'll be right back, guys. Gotta take care of something. Now, as I was saying, they did a good job with this one. And it's looking to make more than Superman on its opening weekend. But will it be able to break even? We'll see. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, right now, well, my friends Katie, Andy, and Peter are out somewhere doing more unknown work and stuff. Whatever the heck it is, they gotta be so complex. Well, hang on. Well, wherever you guys are, I hope you're catching the replay. And please forgive me again. Sometimes I let my inner thoughts get the best of me, but here, let's get this image up and maybe it'll help. Ah, there we go. Way better. See the cars? You see the cast here? I mean, look at this car. Wow. Now, I think Petro would have worked even better as Mr. Fantastic if they had just shaved his beard and mustache off and put some white lining on his sideburns and stuff. That would have helped tone down the controversy. God, controversy isn't always healthy, folks. It's really bad. It's not healthy. It's not emotionally healthy for folks at all to have too much controversy stoked up. Which is why I do blame the government for what they did after the election of 2012 and late November of 2012. God, all this CIA messaging and shit is really, really turned everything into hell here in the United States because of them pulling. Yeah. And I don't care if people think it's not the CIA. They don't get it. Because really, it ain't. It's certainly not normal to have such toxic discourse online. We should have been getting. Now, what I love about this movie so much. What I love about this movie is what I also love about this movie is that thank God there's a time jump from their origin story. You don't have to go through the whole darn thing again. I mean, look. Yeah, year 4. Good move. quite a good move for the people to make. Wish we got that out of Superman when it came to rebooting and not constantly going through 1978 and shit over again, which is why the films aren't going to make a billion, because you're not going to make a billion out of Superman movies if you don't give them different villains like Brainiac, Metallo, Parasite, or even Bizarro for him to fight against in live action movies, because that's why they never made over a billion. Because people are tired of seeing like Luthor and General Zod all the time as well, and they don't even want to put up with seeing more of Doomsday over the goddamn member berry shit. And that's why I kind of support Zach's movement. But back to this. Here we got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and well, he does stretch, super stretch, but you don't get too much of it like we do with Owen from the Eon from the first two films in the 2000s, 20 years ago. I mean, to make such a great movie, they had to go making casting sacrifices by casting Pedro Pascal, a Latino from Chile, for Reed Richards, and casting Julia Garner for the role of Silver Surfer. Yeah, a lot of people have been complaining about her boobs not being big enough to attract folks, as well as her hair not being long. But hey, at least at least from watching the film and her performance, still she did okay. Not bad either. Quite some good character depth. In fact, I feel like this was a movie that should have been the sequel to the 2005 film, guys. I mean, after watching this movie, First Step should have been the movie we should have gotten 18 years ago, and not what we got out of Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, what the hell was Tim Story and those assholes at Fox thinking back then? Wow. In this movie, Sue Storm has a baby, a cute little baby that she gives birth to while traveling in outer space. He's called Franklin. And no, he's not Kang the Conqueror. He's he's the son of Reed and Sue Richards. Also, you have the Thing. Real comic accurate with the Thing. One of every Marvel's favorite characters and superheroes, the Thing. Yep, everyone loves the Thing because they all love Hulk because they're funny, big, reckless, and dummy. There we have, looking like a monkey, comic accurate gorilla-looking thing from the comics. More mild than now. Ross's character here version is more mild than that of Michael Chiklis. But hey, still works. Way better, absolutely more worth looking at than that trash abomination from 2015. I mean, my God. Man, the way they handled that movie was awful. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Just needed to take care of something. We're back to the thing, looking round and gorilla-shaped comic accurate. I mean, look at this. Look at that lump on his head. Quite fun. And here's Sue Storm. Right there. Yeah. Oh, now. Now, this movie definitely features Mole Man, but he's kind of more neutral. He's more neutral. And they kind of rushed the Fantastic Four's encounter with him in this movie. Still, he did okay. He's kind of like a ruler of his own world. I mean, you've also got people like the Fantastic Four being the rulers of America and the world, being the leaders of the world, where they go and negotiate with guys like him for peace and settlements. And yeah, man, look at that. Yeah, that thing right there in the back. Ugh. But this one, not bad. Very good. He looks more like a gorilla and a monkey combined under a pile of rock. Yeah, who wants to take a look at this? The Thing. Yeah, he was pretty good too. Kind of more mild. He's more mild than this one, but hey, really good too. More well matured, and he looks more well matured in this film than he does in the previous ones. Yeah, more mature version of him. Yeah, they did feature Gigantos in the film, who was one of Moleman's creatures, but it felt rushed. I mean, much of their fights with some of the villains were rushed. We didn't even see Thinker. And there's Moleman of what he looks like in the one of the worst animated format shows of all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing. We get Herbie. For real. Yeah. Another reason why this film's doing well is because it features Herbie, an actual Herbie, who you don't see in the first three movies. Hey. Now, what is this? Oh, yeah. That's Herbie building a crib for Franklin Richards. And check him out. Yeah. You gotta sometimes wonder what were used to make the eyes for this thing. Well, this disc on his right eye looks like that of a game of a nearly completed GameCube game disc, and for the eye over here to look like it was somehow the cover to this one. Huh? Who would have thought? Really good too. And we already reached the point where there are AI robots in this world, courtesy of you know who, Elon Musk. It's a shame we can't. Yeah, shame we can't change the world like they can, all because of centralization and propaganda and other kinds of garbage make everything suck and difficult and too much security, too much oversight and security and surveillance. But nonetheless, this team was really good. By far the best Rooster by far. Oh yeah, and this popcorn bucket. Oh. Now. Oh, and that also reminds. Oh yeah. it's a complete bummer that they cut out John Malkovich's character, Red Ghost, all because of their stupid BS of being too many characters. Well, come on, dipshits. You went and did the same thing for the same BS excuse Tim Story had for not doing Galactus comic accurate in Rise of the Silver Surfer, which caused the movie to fucking flop. I mean, surely you should have just kept Malkovich in the movie and not like your fucking bosses fuck around and tell you what to do. I mean, we should have gotten Red Ghost in this movie as well, because really, you included one of his super apes in there. You literally featured one of his super apes, but you didn't even feature the Red Ghost himself in it. I mean, what the hell was going on through these people's brains? And why is it that they can't stand up to these unhinged, uncivilized bosses they've got running the joint? Oh, wow. Oh, and look at that. Some movie art for the movie. Huh. Oh, my goodness. Ah, Sean Franklin. Hey, do me a favor. Hit the like button and share the stream with and let others and make sure you get CS and other people to come check out my stream too. I could use all the help here. Anyway, I love the style of the color palette to this movie. Much more balanced and way better than what you would get out of guns. Ooh, garbage shit. Which I'm glad I never saw. I mean, my God. Where are the adults? Where are the adults in this world that can't seem to wake up and come manage this stuff? Despite the DEI, I mean, if only they would just shave that mustache and this beard off of Pascal, he wouldn't be as big of controversial headaches for people to complain and brag about. My God. Yeah, I liked the movie too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I liked it too. Better than many of the other movies I've seen regarding the four superheroes. I mean, the one in the one in the 2000s, 2005 had the right direction, but they effed up. They fumbled it with. It kind of fumbled because they made Doctor Doom a businessman instead of being an actual foreign dictator. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh boy. Anyway. Oh yes. Here's Ben Grimm. Incognito, blending in with society. Yeah, in the movie also features Ben Grimm looking to impress a crowd of children at a school. Yeah, he tricks them into thinking that he was going to throw the car, but he does not. He fakes it and puts it back down because he's not looking to do too much damage. So far, I think now that right there is quite an improvement. Sure, he's not the same exciting, reckless thing from the 2000s, but not bad. Not bad at all. They did a really great job with Galactus. Very great. Never thought they would actually pull it off. Yeah, and it kind of looked real good. Ralph Ineson. Here in this movie, he was played by Ralph Ineson. Silver Surfer and Galactus. Yeah, wondering if they're dead. But who knows? Because I won't tell you until I come to the end. But wow, it was quite impressive and how they actually did him. Unlike the last time where it was just lazy. I mean, their laziness on getting him done like they did in this movie is precisely why Rise of the Silver Surfer flopped. Because you did not do Galactus right. I mean, Tim Story and whoever's stupid idea what to not do him like he does look in the comics. What the fuck was going on inside your fucking head, guys? That you had to make people wait 18 years after Rise of the Silver Surfer for people to see the real Galactus shine on the big screen. I mean, what the hell was it? Hang on. Let me get this thing back up. And look at that back of his. Quite impressive. Kind of wonder if the AI and CGI technology they had at the studios is improving, or if they used practical effects. If Innocent used practical effects and props to help make the character look realistic. Pretty good. Yeah, and Vanessa Kirby, she did good. I mean, yeah, in her late 30s or at the age of 40 or something. I could have gone with someone with a much prettier and good looking face, but she did okay. She did really good. And her acting was quite impressive too. And the point of view speech she made as well. Now, as for the Thing, what they never actually did was make him making him grow the beard. I mean, what in the hell? How do you expect him to shave that off? I mean, why the hell would you give the Thing a beard and a mustache? I mean, what the hell? Sure, does look realistic and stuff, but yeah, I kind of don't recognize him having to wear clothing and stuff, because that's kind of another thing to point out with the movie is that the Thing is usually the Thing is usually shirtless. But hey, at least they still got him right with with his looks and stuff. And I don't know what scene this is, but pretty good. Looks better than it looks way. This looks way better than what we got out of that goddamn sloppy abomination of a reboot 10 years ago. I mean, they're making the Fantastic Four more of a mid-decade kind of thing these days, folks. Mid-decade, mid-decade, not early, not early, not early decade or late decade, mid-decade. Let me just hang on. All right, here it is. Mid-decade, mid-decade of they're making the Fantastic Four more mid-decade ish for folks. It's a more mid. It's been a mid-decade thing. 3 times in 20 years. Sorry about the tears, guys. Wow. Yeah, it kind of looks a lot like. Yeah, and not bad. Yeah. Gosh, I hope they had plenty of time to make the effects look good. It's way better. And if this is AI just in the start of improvement, I think we're at a good start. Now, yeah, after coming across supervillains and having a making making sure that everything was good, going well during their early life. Silver Surfer arrives. Yeah, Silver Surfer. Female server, Silver Surfer. Female Silver Surfer. Go, go, female Silver Surfer. Da, 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 da. Oh, what the? Go, go, Silver Surfer. Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, that her breasts are not as big as they usually are in the comics for Shala Ball, and her hair is kind of shorter than it looks. Now, tell me, I want you to give me your thoughts, guys. Whoever's in the watching, please give me your thoughts in the chat. What do you think of Silver Surfette? Shala Ball. Yeah, her role is sure to drive the folks on one aisle freaking crazy. Hitting their egos hard. But I sure hope the doolies don't go missing this. Yeah, I hope they got their review of the movie as well lined up. I haven't seen it. I know Syfax and Rockefeller already did their part. Now, yeah, and here we have, yeah, but here's also another difference. Besides gender swapping and changing the identity swapping Silver Surfer from Norrin Rad to Shala Bo. It's also which member of the Fantastic Four they most interacted with more often. That's also the difference. Here, Jessica Alba's Sue Storm, along with Doug Jones as Norman Rad Silver Surfer, who was able to merge through her force field back then. Yeah, they had Silver Surfer done correctly in this move in Rise of the Silver Surfer at the cost of Galactus not being done comic accurately like he is in this film today. I mean, gosh, I mean, what is wrong with these studios that they couldn't get the characters done right back then as like they are today in this IP of heroes? I'm glad they didn't do it as an origin story. In fact, we should have also gotten Brainiac as well. I mean, the problem with Returns of Superman, it was more of a remake because it was just Lex Luthor he was facing off against and no one else. All because he was the character's arch enemy. I mean, you could have also thrown Metallo in there, but you didn't. WB, because you're a bunch of lazy a-holes who are too autocratic minded and to listen to actual people because of how deranged you are. All because you got too much protection from our governments and shit. You think you can do whatever you want without consequences. Yeah. Oh, God, I gotta sit up straight. Wow. Yeah, also speaking of Human Torch, at least they did not race swap him, and he still has his thing for women in him. Thank God, thank goodness for that. Yeah. I mean, it's like the Rooster of Heroes in this movie are much milder version of the 2000s Rooster of members. That they're more mild. That they're more mild than they were in the 2000s ones. But they are definitely way better than the crap we got in 2050. I mean, my God. Seriously. That one cracked and bombed because of the management. It always comes down to the management of these studios that they can't seem to deliver what we want. Now, I still don't know. I'm still not convinced about a sequel happening, but we'll see. So far, the numbers are looking better for this one than that god awful remake, that god awful Superman 4 remake of Guns. Wow. And I hope I'm speaking good volume too, guys. Now, here, Johnny Storm definitely interacts with Human Torch. Now, I can't remember if this scene of him falling out of orbit was in the movie, but he definitely interacts with her while chasing her, just like he did with Norrin Radd. And yeah, I could tell from the CGI. Shalabal and Human Torch. Yeah, there she is in the movie, where we actually go see what now, where she. Well, let me just hold up and just. Okay. Okay. Now, soon as Silver Surfer arrives on Earth, the Fantastic Four go to outer space to find and confront Galactus in hopes of negotiating. Soon as they came across their ship, they were looking for Silver Surfer where she was, and she destroyed a planet. In the movie, she helped Galactus destroy a planet. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But also in this movie, Johnny Storm for once is not is also part-time smart, well, part-time done fun, Mr. Handsome Lady, Mr. Ladies Man. You gotta admit, gotta give this actor credit too. Yeah, more slightly more mature than Chris Evans's version, but also way better than Michael B. Jordan's take on the character. Not race-wise, no, but role-wise. I mean, take a look at this. Man, it's quite impressive that he's able to study different languages just while listening to them on record players. I mean, this guy is a sound specialist. It's like a sound specialist. A sound specialist who literally who literally studies sound wave frequencies with record players. Now, sorry about that. I was on the wrong tab. Let me get the screen back up. Yeah, without slideshows, you wouldn't have a great video slideshow presentations. Now, here we have Silver Surfer inside the ship of Galactus. She was much like Norrin Radd was in Rise of the Silver Surfer. She was riding her board to lead Galactus certain worlds defeat while ensuring that he spares hers in exchange. She's been, yeah, about a total of 5 to 6 planets were fed to Galactus by Shalabal. And soon as they come into contact with the Fantastic Four in their space shuttle, Galactus brings them in with his tractor beam, and they couldn't even go into hyperdrive while they were being pulled in. As for as for Charlotte, she requests everyone to speak with Galactus himself. Yeah. Ah. Well, that may be so, but I have to give you an honest opinion. I kind of disagree because you wouldn't have Galact. Oh yeah, sure. In some ways it is, but when you look at this movie, you have to you also gotta wonder how is it that we were able to get a comic book accurate Galactus in this when now and not back in Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, thank you for bringing that. Well, I'm glad. Thanks for your opinion too. And there is, and here is Galactus. That's a bit different language right there we're speaking. Now, here's Galactus from the movie. They did a good job with him, even though he was in the dark. I mean, it also felt like they could have gone with the different color palettes for the scenes of him inside of his big planet-eating ship, and not go making him look like this fucking garbage of lazy space clouds. I mean, this space cloud where they choose to make an adaptation of Galactus as, this is what caused Rise of the Silver Surfer to flop, and it's precisely why it ain't gonna. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go there. Let's go and check it out, shall we? Now, Fantastic Four First Steps reveals Galactus is finally done right. Yeah. This was published over a year ago since the first trailer came out. The big Marvel news from SDCC may have been Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Doctor Doom, but frankly, I was more excited about the leaked Fantastic Four trailer. Not only did we get the official title of the team's first MCU adventure, but we also got a glimpse of who they'll be facing on that adventure. It looks like Fantastic Four will feature none other than Galactus as the FF's adversary. Even better, looks like Marvel is doing them right this time. Yeah, this is what really got me interested in seeing this movie. I mean, look at this. Look at this lazy piece of shit excuse they came up with back in 2007. Ill-fated, yeah, the ill-fated 2007 cinematic debut. Huh. Fantastic Four First Steps teaser suggests that Galactus will be a kaiju-sized dude in the big dorky helmet. Thank Kirby. Finally, a Galactus who embraces the inherent silliness from the comics who isn't a sentient collection of space dust. Exactly. You see? Now, I am disappointed that of the current leadership at Disney and Marvel, just as I am disgusted with the current leadership at DC and Warner Brothers. But finally they're doing him Galactus the correct way. It's yeah. As many of you who have no doubt blocked out, Galactus made his big screen debut in Fantastic for Rise of the Silver Surfer as a giant cloud nebula thingy. The movie took its cue from the Ultimate Fantastic Four, a darker, more grounded version of the team that exists at the time. Of course, grounded in this instance means the team got their powers from dimensional radiation instead of space radiation. But I digress. First step in the right direction. Yeah, well, hang on. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah, the design that worked. That is Galactus. Yeah, embrace MCU embracing the source material. Yeah, happy that the MCU is willing to do him as a Godzilla's hype. Hollywood has a bad habit of trying to make superheroes less silly. Please look at how long it took to get Wolverine in the comic accurate costume for uh, for the life of me. I'll never understand how a man with metal claws in his hands is grounded, but if he wears a blue and yellow suit, it's suddenly too much. Even the MCU tried that approach with Thor. Yeah, that too. And Ragnarok. Yeah, the teaser looked promising. Now, let's get back to this. This is Galactus. This is a scene from the trailer that we saw. Yeah, this was from the movie, but it did not feature Herbie and baby Franklin. Yeah. As soon as they came to the ship, they tried to negotiate with Galactus to spare the Earth, but Galactus was only going to spare them if they handed their baby to him. Huh. Now, this would have looked a lot better for Julia Garner's portrayal as Silver Surfer if they had given her long hair and not have to make it so 60s rich woman style. Because some folks will say that Julia Garner's Silver Surfer looks like Hillary Clinton. ah, there's a Lego. A Lego set featuring Galactus and the Fantastic Four. Not bad. Of course, we know they refused, so they had to escape. So they had to damage some of Galactus's equipment and escape. Yeah, quite impressive. Having him land on Earth in the water for safe landing is cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you do him comic accurate? Sure, you wanted to focus plenty on the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, but Galactus would have made things much more interesting if you just did him right from the comics and not be such a bunch of lazy ass wusses. I mean, you guys nearly had it here with the movie by managing multiple villains. Yet you cut them out. Still, the way the place looks more like a retooling of the '60s and the 2010s era. Anyway, Reed and Sue have their baby, but only from there they then had to. But as soon as they got back to Earth, they had Johnny and Ben broke the bad news to. to the press that they did not defeat Galactus, and they failed to negotiate. And when they told them they couldn't defeat him, and they were not going to surrender their baby, it suddenly puts the whole world into a panic, into a frickin' panic. Yeah, people were saying they were hating on them because they were not willing to make sacrifices. But you also got to give Vanessa Kirby credit in this film for getting people to calm down. Pardon me, folks. Okay. Now, Sue was able to get the crowd people around the world to calm down. Now, and by getting the calm down, it helped Reed formulate a plan to try to stop Galactus. And what he suggests was try to move their planet out of the galaxy and far away from him as they could. Hang on. All right. Now, but before they could even try teleporting the planet, their plan was thwart. Their plan it ended up going south when Silver Surfer returned and destroyed and started destroying various teleportation devices across the globe, which prompted Johnny into going out there to confront Shia LaBeouf herself. Yeah, Johnny Storm. I mean, who was usually a hothead at stuff, he was actually quite an improvement. He still doesn't. Well, he might best. Yeah, Jessica Alba is still the number one Invisible Woman because she's a sexy hottie. But for Human Torch, well, I think now's the time we give Chris Evans a farewell on his performance, and now let this guy take place. Yeah, the way he managed to handle much more mature than Chris Evans' version or even Michael B. Jordan's. But here we have Ben and Reed. And now we go to. Yeah, can't do it. Well, I'll definitely be watching it again on Disney Plus. I'll tell you that. I mean, now the way they handled it, I gotta give points to the guy who played Human Torch in the scene. I mean, the way he nailed it, the way he handled Silver Surfer in this movie compared to one, very impressive. Yeah, recently they had plunged her into a black hole. Clearly, Silver Surfer didn't know just how old their son was, and she feels like it was wrong for Galactus to go after a little baby. Yeah, we still give Jessica Alba for playing the best Sue Storm. And we still give Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne points for being the best movie live action Silver Surfer as well. But the way Johnny handled her in this movie, very impressive. He also revealed to Silver Surfer that he not only studied her language, but also learned of her name, Shalaboa. And from all the and from and from God, I'm stuck. God, I'm having a brain fart here. And from the wow, and from the way he played different recordings in her own mess of her own words in on different billboards on the screens of each building in the vicinity they were in. Yeah, it overwhelmed her. It starts to overwhelm her, and revealed who her name was. And he even told her that the people that were devoured by Galactus inside the world she led him to, they were begging her not to sacrifice them all to him. Yeah, and all the agony from those messages, along with what he learned, overwhelmed Shalaboa into retreating into space. Johnny also convinced her. They tried to negotiate, but negotiations went south. So now, coming back to Mr. Fantastic, Reed, because they only had one teleportation device left working and operational, they had to bring Galactus straight to them and teleport him and use the device to teleport him instead of the planet they're on. And they had to use their baby boy as bait. And now it brings us to the final battle between the Fantastic Four and Galactus. Here Galactus was definitely the best part of what would put seats in the theaters. Doesn't mean it's going to make $1 billion, but it's definitely going to be the start to actually getting people somewhere. And I wouldn't mind if this film comes to a stop at 440 million or 444 million. Teeny tiny bit close to the break even point. Okay. And we should definitely shout out to Ralph Ineson for his role as Galactus too. I mean, it helps bring us back to Tony Jay. You know, the guy who voiced Frollo in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He voiced Galactus in the Fantastic Four animated series that came out in '94. And that show could definitely use a revival as well if it does have potential. Yeah, I mean, Galactus is pretty much their biggest enemy. We also had Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That kind of sucked though. But here in Fantastic Four, we're back on comic accurate ground. Yeah, Galactus jumps out of his ship and approaches the mainland of New York City. They thought they could immediately get him done and out of the way with right away, but he was way too smart for them when he came to a standstill and looked around and noticed that they relocated Franklin at their Baxter building. Yeah, and they tried to stop her. They were doing their best to stop him in this movie, and I gotta give them credit too. Sure, they didn't give him as much screen time as they did with Silver Surfer, but hey, still worked. Who knows if there's going to be they'll go another round with this guy. I mean, Ralph Ineson did an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, he wanted to stop himself from feeding on more and more planets, but he could not because he is too big a threat and you don't want to risk it all. Yeah, he wanted to stop, put an end to his own hunger, but he simply can't. Yeah, and it's a pity they don't know of how or have anything that would kill the guy, that would kill the space god either. But also, before bringing him down to Earth, they had to negotiate with Mole Man to bring everyone in New York down into Subterranea with his people for shelter while the Fantastic Four themselves took the fight to Galactus on the streets. But soon as Galactus finds Franklin, he then kidnaps the baby. Yeah, quite scary too. Yeah, that was quite scary too for an evil space god. I mean, I bet you every mother who's gone to see this with their children was terrified by Galactus's role. It even scared Reed Richards, aka Pedro Pascal, into finding Galactus as well. Ah, and here he is. Yeah, they definitely got it right with the tone. Well, his voice, of course. I mean, an actual space god. The space god himself. Oh, and here we are. There's who Galactus looks like in his height. I mean, they did really good job with the padding and stuff. Even if it was CGI and everything, most of it was CGI done. But still, very good. Very nice work. And with the voice, they really did good. They did very good. Luckily, Reed was able to save Franklin from Galactus's clutches, while Sue used as much power as she can to prevent the guy from taking their son. And that, God, I have another thing. And then Ben Grimm and the Thing and Human Torch were able to hit him with another heavy hit. And they say, it's clobbering time. Yep, and clobber they shall. As soon as they got baby Franklin out of Galactus's arms, Johnny and Sue used their efforts to send him into a teleportation to turn their teleportation machine on to teleport Galactus out of their world, but not without the help of one female Silver Surfer, who intervenes to help them save their world, and using the power of her board to pound Galactus right into the vortex, teleporting out of their world with him. And for once, the world was saved. And one of the post-credit scenes, and people were finally calm and happy. Now we come to Doctor Doom, who is said to be played by Robert Downey Jr. However, they did not feature this post-credit scene of him of his unmasking on the screens at the Comic-Con. Hell, I didn't even know why they wanted to pick Downey for this role either, other than they constantly keep driving people crazy with controversy. But it takes place 4 years after the Galactus event, where Franklin and his mom come across Dr. Doom, aka Tony Stark, who is actually Tony Stark, kind of Victor Von Doom. Wow. Yeah. Now to give you Sci-Fax. Hi there. Hi, I'm just about to give my review, my score. And here it is. 8 out of 10. Much better than Rise of the Silver Surfer, and way better than that god-awful trash from 2015. Wow. I mean, do we gotta really make so much repeat themselves? But at least this movie breaks the curse. Sure. I don't know how this movie will perform, but so far, quality-wise, quality-wise, it's okay, but story-wise, it still needs some. It's still in work. It's still what I call work in progress. But overall, it was good. Way better. Now, I still say that Venom: The Last Dance would be the last dance for the entire superhero genre at the box office. But so far, at least this movie is doing okay. Can't say that Marvel is going to do better or get it. Yep. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was quite fun, Sci-Fax. Yeah, someday I would love to. Surely I could talk about this with the Doolies on their panel, or someday whenever they're ready for me, I would love to join them on their panel to talk about stuff like this, or even Legend of Zelda, Transformers, Venom, and Sonic. But that's gonna have to be up to them, because last time I was requesting, I was kind of arrogant. I was kind of arrogant last year, for over a year ago from today. I mean, I'm still kind of haunted by my arrogance last year, and seeing how they're operating right now, I don't know. But I do know that if they were to bring me on, they'll be more than happy to have me join on their panel through member stream and stuff if they do. But also, while I do hope I have the Katie, Peter, and Andy back on my panel someday, I would love to come onto their panel to talk about stuff, as well as this, whether or not this becomes the next superhero movie to break even, or if its failure to break even at 450 to 500 million will solidify Venom: The Last Dance as the last dance for the superhero genre at the box office, but only time will tell. Thanks again, guys. Like and share the screaming. If you're new, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button here down in the middle of the below the screen. Well, I have to leave now and be ready for Lethal Geeks and Gamers in a Lethal Geeks podcast in an hour. Sergeant Garatina out. And farewell. Catch you tomorrow.